This is the most broken exploit in Hearts of Iron 4. It allows you to take full control of another country's army, and no, not just your puppets, fully sovereign independent nations, including majors. Please note, you can only do this with your faction members, you have to be the faction leader, and you have to be fighting in the same war. Terms and conditions apply. And since I've been on a bit of a Graveyard of Empires achievement run saga, I thought I might as well abuse the exploit with the new god-awful country of Iran. Here we go. Now, technically, you can do this exploit with basically any country that's not already in a faction, but really you want to do it with the major, because why the hell would you want to commandeer the army of Bulgaria, for example? It's just not worth it. Now, of the 7 major nations, 3 are democratic, which means they are not allowed to make factions when tension is low, so that doesn't work. The other 3, the Soviets, the Germans, and the Japanese all have their own faction, which means you cannot be faction leader, leaving only one victim for our exploit. Mr. Tortellini, which means it's time for a quick civil war to switch over to his favorite ideology. Obviously, we cannot forget to research our favorite cheese technology, the paratroopers. And after Gotterdammerung, you have to also research transport planes separately, which is kinda stupid, but whatever. Do the good old civil war trick of deleting all your divisions, and now we wait. You have 2 options to set up where your civil war starts. You can either pick the state with absolutely nothing, or you can pick the state with 2 military factories, so kind of a no-brainer. The League of Nations actually wants us to embargo Italy, which is kind of interesting since we kind of want to be their friends later on, but an interesting thing you can do is embargo them, get the free 2 stability, and then just instantly revoke your embargo. So yeah, that decision is completely pointless. We have successfully switched ideologies. We do have a little bit of a civil war situation to deal with, and that is an interesting flag. Before we even fight our civil war, I'm gonna go and justify on some random tiny country. It'll all make sense later. I'm gonna pick Yemen just because they don't generate a lot of world tension, and it's in our interest for world tension to not go sky high that early. Now, the Iranian civil war is, thank goodness, way the hell easier than the Afghan civil war that we experienced in the last video. All you gotta do is just do a bit of micro, take the victory points. It should be pretty easy. And now I'm gonna throw out another justification on Romania. That's gonna take like a year, so that's when we're gonna go to war with the allies. That's gonna give us enough time to get all the transport planes we need. We need 50 of them, and they are pretty damn expensive in terms of resources. So if your country is like a shithole without any industry, that might actually be a bit difficult. Justification on Yemen is done. I'm just going to declare on them right now because if the British guaranteed them, that would have caused some problems. We're not going to be invading Yemen. It's not the point. We just need to be at war. It'll make sense. It'll all make sense. Okay, Mr. Tortellini, what do you say we create a little bit of a military alliance? Let's call it the Rome-Tehran Axis. How about that, eh? The Axis V2 has been created. Now, the million-dollar question is, how do we commandeer Italy's beautiful 61 divisions? The answer is expeditionary forces. I bet you forgot this thing even existed, right? If you are the faction leader, you have access to this thing, request expeditionaries. Basically, requesting other countries give you their divisions for a while. Currently, this is grayed out because you need to be in the same war as your faction member to actually use this. Previously, you could just join Italy's fake war with Ethiopia, but you can no longer do that, which is why we had to do this whole Yemen shenanigans. So now if we call Italy into this war, which they have accepted, we are now both at war with Yemen, and we can start requesting divisions from Italy. If you request too many divisions, it does say Italy will reject your request, but this is currently bugged, so if you send the request anyway, yeah, they will just give you their entire army. Now, Italy has 0 divisions, and Iran has 92 divisions. And I'm also justifying on Romania, which is guaranteed by France. I think you see what I'm about to do. I mean, at this point, Paradox may as well just add in like a demand annexation button because Italy's now given us their entire army, half their convoys. They might as well just, they might as well just join Iran, right? By the way, there's literally no limit on how much we can do this. Like, Italy's just made 5 new divisions. Grazie mille, Mr. Tortellini. Now, unfortunately, the Italian army is not exactly the best one. A lot of these divisions are literally colonial garbage. 8 combat with infantry, 23 soft attack. This thing is basically unusable. So unfortunately, a lot of these divisions we're gonna have to split off and just have them sit around because there's just no point using them. In the end, we have 16 divisions of literal crap. They're not gonna be doing anything. I'm just gonna put them on Venice, and 48 divisions of I mean, I was gonna say good divisions, but a lot of these are still pretty awful, but you know, just barely usable. Now, we're not gonna be using the Italian army to conquer France. There is a much better way to deal with France, and that is the oldest exploit in Hearts of Iron 4. That's right, we're using the paratroopers. So I guess I lied, this is kind of 2 exploits in one. Gotta love that disjointed government. All we gotta do is send a couple thousand Iranians with parachutes into Paris, and France has officially given up. I'm afraid to say that was the easy part though, because now we gotta deal with the UK. Unfortunately, we don't have a navy. Imagine if we could just ask for Italy's navy, by the way. That would be fucking awesome. But alas, you are not able to do that, so we gotta paradrop the UK as well. Annoyingly, the AI has already put up its air force, and we need green air to paradrop. Fortunately, there is a solution. If you just reload the game, there is going to be 1 tick of game time where you get green air, and with the power of cheese, we've landed in the UK. This entire video is just cheese after cheese after cheese. Anyway, let's get the beautiful Italian army across the channel, preferably without them dying to the Royal Navy. Nicely done. And now comes the most difficult part of this entire campaign, microing the UK. This used to be a lot easier, but in Gotterdammerung, I'm pretty sure the British AI got like a massive buff, and now this is actually kind of difficult because their air force is really strong, and we got no anti-air in these divisions. Doesn't really matter though, because with my prodigious skill, we've still managed to take London. If we give the British time to reinforce, we are kind of cooked, so we gotta hurry it up. Come on. I mean, isn't it just so on brand for Italy that the one time their army does well, it's because someone else took control of it? The only thing we have to be careful about is to not take too many losses, because I'm pretty sure if we take too many casualties, Italy will just recall the divisions, and that would truly be a disaster. So we gotta make sure we don't really throw these divisions at the front line. But I think we're doing all right. The UK is it's in a bit of a pickle. Okay, the UK is nearly about to surrender. All right, time for another exploit. We're gonna declare war on Afghanistan, Turkey, and Iraq. I got these war goals from my focus tree, and they will join the allies. All we gotta do is just like attack their divisions a tiny bit, involve them in the war, and we will basically be able to annex them for free in the peace deal. It's just free real estate. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 1938, and the allies are already Jova. And yes, in case you're curious, we do get all of the war score, even though our divisions are Italian. Italy gets absolutely nothing. Mussolini's probably like, someone just commandeered my entire army, conquered Britain and France, and I got absolutely nothing. What the fuck is going on? If you reach this point in the exploit and you've defeated the allies, you can basically do whatever you want. I'm going for the achievements, obviously, so let me just check which states we need for that. Oh my god. This might take a while. We do actually need Azerbaijan from the Soviet Union, according to the wiki, so off we go again. I have absolutely no idea how Paradox expects you to do this without exploits. My mind just cannot compute. Even with this exploit, I'm probably gonna take at least until 1942. So without exploits, you might as well just say goodbye to your PC. That is gonna be on fire by the time you're done. One field trip to the Urals later, the Soviets are done. The Hoi4 community asking for a conditional surrender mechanic is like a tale as old as time at this point, but we're still here conquering all of Russia just because we need Azerbaijan. Oh my goodness. And because we have territory in Southeast Asia, we are now at war with Japan, which is always very fun. Luckily, we don't actually care about Japan because in order to restore the Achaemenid Empire, excuse me for not knowing what that is, all we still need is a couple of provinces from Libya, which means it is backstabbing time. Italy, you are kicked out of the Rome-Tehran axis. It was nice while it lasted, but I kind of need your territory. Also, I just realized if I declare war on Italy, they're probably going to join the co-prosperity sphere, so we might have to fight Japan after all. I did not expect this to take so long, given how broken the exploit is, but that's Hoi4 for ya. Again, Paradox, I know you think this is funny, but let me assure you, I am not amused. Not even in the slightest. I just annexed the Italian puppet from the Civil War, and with our ownership of these 2 Libyan states, that has given us what is possibly the new most awful achievement in Hearts of Iron 4, the Legacy of Cyrus the Great. Obviously, me being the idiot that I was, didn't actually record it, so fuck my life. Oh yeah, we also got Pesky Greeks, which requires us to own all Greek core states, and the reason we only just got that is because the Dodecanese were owned by the Italians, and then it went to the Italian puppets, so now that we've annexed them, we've finally got this achievement. And there we go, Japan surrenders, and for some reason, China also surrendered. What the fuck? I will never understand how capitulation works, but whatever, I'm just gonna take everything. And that concludes our campaign, the worst expansion in Hearts of Iron 4, defeated with the power of cheese. Well, mostly because I still don't have Graveyard of Empires. I have absolutely no idea why. I've basically done a world conquest at this point. I've checked all of these states owned by Xinjiang, Tibet, and Nepal, and none of them are cores of Afghanistan or the Raj, so I have no idea why I don't have the achievement. Paradox, fix your game!